The last time in the NOVAR Verizon Cup Series at the track, Brandon Green took the victory at Camden after pretty much taking control of the race after Shane Norgan struggled with an incident on pit road that dropped him out of the race. This week's race starts the stretch to the championship race, which all begins here in Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the 2.5-mile oval track. Going into this weekend, the storylines was that Tobias Newbridge, who currently runs in the South Carolina Part-Timers Challenge, and Calmcom Incorporation, they will be moving full-time in 2015, as Newbridge will be, I believe, will be running for Rookie of the Year in car number 96, while the team will also form a second car, which is currently rumored as car number 17, with Frank Meridian and Avis Rapix as the two drivers of that car. It is reported that also Domino's Pizza will sign with Newbridge during his rookie tenure in the number 96 Dodge Charger. And now we'll head it over to Kendall Johnson for the race recap. And thank you, Scott Johnson. Car number 58 leads the field down to the green flag. Alan Kimmel on his outside. It looks like car number 58, Scott Johnson, actually gets a better start than the 88 of Alan Kimmel. Blake Battaglia in the 50 is already going to make a challenge for that second spot. However, going into turn number 2, and as they went across that south chute, looks like Battaglia in car number 50 will go for that second spot. Jason Duke in the 66 is also trying to go for that second spot, followed by Mac Hamlin in car number 28. However, the 28 of Hamlin is falling back. Scott Johnson in the 58, he's already pulling away from this pack, as Battaglia almost comes down on Duke. However, they both avoid a wreck as they head out of the turn number 3 down the north chute and down into turn number 4, and then heading to the front stretch. Scott Johnson in the 58 has already built up a huge lead. Blake Battaglia in car number 50 is right now running in second and was able to hold up the 66 of Jason Duke. Because here we go, we would have our first yellow flag come out on lap number 3. Cameron Brooks in the 33 gets into Mike Hogan, and Jamie Scotty is also collected. The 33 of Cameron Brooks spins and also gets the number 25 Scott Howard, who failed to qualify last week at Camden. And then we would have another wreck. Jayon Norrie runs into Shane Harden after Norrie apparently got a good run there. Harden spins, gets Casey Lester. Walter Green's in there. Corey Von Delga is also in there. Brandon Green, your winner at Camden. Carson Parang, Jamie Scott A. And then Walter Youth just rolls the 59 over. And despite all that heavy damage that was done, the 12 of Casey Lester was the only one to drop out of the race. Jason Duke in car number 66 led on the restart with Cody WYKE in second. Chadler Blake in car 15 in third. Blake, who started in the 15th spot, has already mauled his way to the front, mostly due to the fact that some of his competitors ended up going to pit road. As Duke in the 66, right now he's gonna have a challenge from Cody WYKE in car number 22. WYKE looks low, but couldn't really get the runoff there, as they're now basically just single file, except for Tony WYDER right there, as he made a move, I believe, on the inside, however, backed out. So Cody WYKE's going to try again going into turn number 3. This time he gets the nose under it. And car number 22, Cody WYKE, is going to try to go for the lead here. He has the line down the north chute and then into turn number 3. Cody WYKE in car number 22 will get the lead right here for Silver Green Racing. Chadler Blake in car number 15 is also now trying to go for second. He is side by side with Duke. Blake in car number 50 will help the 15. However, a couple laps later, the 22 of Cody WYKE, the 15 of Blake was able to get around the 66, and Chadler Blake will go for the lead and will take it as they go past the south chute down into turn number 2. Shane Norgan in car number 32. WYKE's teammate is also will try to take second spot away from Cody WYKE in the number 22. Jason Duke in car number 66 is also somewhat in there, as we'll see. There you see WYKE, Norgan, and Duke also in there. Jake Carroll in the 76 is just lurking behind to see if he can make a shot for second. Jason Duke in the 66, he will shut the door on his own teammate, and it will be a 3-1. Looks like Norgan will win the battle for second right now. However, he is still being contested. However, WYKE's now being contested for third by Jason Duke. Jake Carroll, instead of working with his teammate, just decided to work with Cody WYKE. I'm not sure why that was happening. We would have our next caution, lap 11. Alan Kimmel turns Mark Mongillo into the inside wall. Both of them spin. Logan Ginn is also collected. They also get Kano Zuki, and then Alan Kimmel comes back up the track and gets into Scott Howard in car number 25. All three would continue on, although that was kind of some decent shots that happened. Not sure why Kimmel turned Mongillo into the wall in the first place. On the restart, Chadler Blake in car number 15 led on the restart with Jason Duke in car number 66 in second, Luke Warren in car 14 in third, James Wilson Jr. in the 11th, fourth, and then Jamie Scotty in the 9, who actually had damage, is actually running in 5th. As there you see Jason Duke in car number 66. He will try to go to the bottom of the racetrack. Chadler Blake tries to give him a little bit of room. Duke's not able to get the run, so he has to merge back in line, but he pushes Luke Warren to the outside. Warren in the 14's trying to make a move on the outside line. James Wilson Jr. in the 11 is also going to do so as well. But later on in the run, it would become a very interesting battle between the 15, 66, and the 8 and the 58 of Scott Johnson. Right now, Chadler Blake is leading the way. There you see Jay Carroll in the 76. He's actually running in 4th. Shane Argo, the 32, is running in 5th. But right now, the battle is between Jason Duke and Chadler Blake. And this would actually be quite a very interesting battle. There you see Jason Duke in car number 66 go to the inside of the 15 at Chadler Blake, as Duke is going to get the pass quite easily. There you see the 58 of Scott Johnson is also going to try to make a move. However, couldn't get the run there, but several laps later, Scott Johnson in car number 58 would get under the 66 of Jason Duke. And Chadler Blake at the 15 is going to make a decision on where he's going to go. Johnson's going to get by the 66 quite easily, and then Blake's going to go inside to go for second, as they just hadn't gone around the lap car of Corey Von Dugga. However, that good battle will come to an end on lap 31. Cameron Brooks gets into Logan Chin. Logan Chin merges up safely, but gets into Mark Mongillo. And as they try to go down, they go Mark Chin, Mongillo, and Tony WYDER go 3 wide, and then Mongillo just turns Logan Chin. I believe Chin tried to go up, but he wasn't really clear, even though knowing that he had the 20 basically on his right side anyway. On the restart, Chadler Blake in car number 15 would lead with Jason Duke in 2nd. Jake Carroll in car number 76 in 3rd, and Jake Clark the 3rd, and the 98 running in 4th, CJ Gordon in 5th. The 66 and 15 would be able to get away from the 76 easily. So 15, Chadler Blake and Jason Duke will once again battle. Scott Johnson actually had to pitted while he led coming to the caution. Jake Clark the 3rd and the 98 is going to try to make a move, but CJ Gordon in car number 48 is also in there. Casey Littinger in car number 5, who's actually sponsoring the Target colors this week, as Littinger, the Target, will become the full-time sponsor of that number 5 car in 2015. Chadler Blake in car number 15 will get out in front. He is actually still out in front, as right now Duke is in 2nd as well, but I think the gap's somewhat stabilized, and now Blake at the 15 is starting to pull away from that number 66 of Jason Duke. Jake Carroll in the 76 is right now in 3rd, as there you see the 66 of Duke looks like is somewhat equal from each car, from Blake, Duke, Kierland, and Shane Clark III, although Clark is right now battling with the 48 of CJ Gordon, as Gordon also has somewhat of a bigger distance from himself and Steven Volk. Casey Littinger is also somewhat back there, as Chadler Blake in car number 15. It doesn't appear that Duke actually has enough momentum to actually go at, and now he's going to try to get a run. He actually got a pretty good run through turn 3, and now he's going to try to use it run off of turn 4. However, we will have our next caution lap 46. James Jr. just dumps Todd Pieper. Pieper was going into this weekend 2nd in points, as this is what he did not want to see, especially when the fact, he gets hit by Brandon Green, and Luke Warren is also in there. So Todd Pieper, your 2nd place man in points. He entered the weekend only 7 points back, but here's another wreck that happened. As Brandon Green comes down, he actually comes down pit road, actually gets into Evan Brooks, and then Evan Brooks just pops the back of the wall. Kyle Eichson, Kano Zuki, and Mike Hogan. And more cars were also collected. Pieper was going into that weekend just 7 points back. That was probably the worst thing that actually had to happen to him. Chadler Blake, car number 15, was leading on the restart. And that was actually somewhat good news for the 15, because Pieper would actually be off the pace for the rest of the event. Pieper would get held up by the lap car of Scott Howard at car number 25. As a result, this would open the door for Shane Clark III and car number 98 to take the lead. Casey Littinger in car number 5, who won the Indy 500 about 2 times during his career. Jake Carroll in car number 76 is also following there. Casey Hutto in car number 19 will also do likewise. So car number 98, Shane Clark III takes the lead. Casey Littinger in the 5 is now going to try to look for 2nd. There you see Kierland already now making a charge for the 2nd spot, and he will actually have a decent chance of doing so. The 15 of Chadler Blake is still stuck behind. However, he would fall to 10th. Our next caution will come out lap 52. Alan Kimmel gets pushed into by Scott Johnson and Kyle Eichson. The 88 would spin down the track, and the 88 would actually keep on going. No major damage done in this wreck. On the restart, Jake Carroll in car number 76 led on the restart with Shane Clark III in 2nd, Casey Littinger 3rd, and the 19 of Casey Hutto in 4th. CODY WYKE is, I believe, in the 5th spot, as the 76 is leading Clark. Clark's now going to try to get to the bottom, as Clark will get the bottom, but does he get the run off of turn 2? He does. But however, that will backfire, as Casey Littinger in 5 will now go high side and try to pass the 76, as I'm still getting that number messed up. As the 98 Clark is now going to try to get to the bottom. He actually has help from Casey Hito, but Kierland gets a really good run on the outside, and he will keep the lead actually on the outside, which that is kind of unique there, as the 98 of Clark, and now the gap is somewhat expanding. Chadler Blake would actually be able to come back after restarting 10th, and he would get the lead from Casey Hito, as Hito actually took it away from Kierland. The 15 and Chadler Blake would actually get to the race lead, and then Chadler Blake at the 15 would somehow have a really good long run car, as he would pull out to about a 2-second gap over the rest of the field, as Hito, as pretty much everybody else in that group, was more of a short run car. Shane Nargan in the 32 actually had the next best car, however couldn't, as you're going to see eventually, Nargan was actually couldn't be able to get the gap. However, I believe that's couldn't really be able to make the move. We would, as Nargan would actually get by Hito for the second spot. Kierland would also go by for third. Nargan would try to chase Chadler Blake down, but however couldn't really deal with the fact that maybe Blake had about a 2-second gap. We would have our next caution come out on lap number 76. Scott Johnson comes up the track, gets into Mark Wongilla. Shane Harden's also in there. Blake Witzagliano was also somewhat in there. However, the 59 and 20, they all spin back. They will keep on going. As on the restart, Chadler Blake, car number 15, led on the restart. Brian Dawson actually took an interesting strategy. He actually pitted, I believe, just no tires on the 64. The 32 of Shane Nargan's in third, Casey Littinger in fourth. As Brian Dawson would be somewhat off the pace, didn't exactly get a good restart, as Chadler Blake had just a really good restart. Shane Nargan, car number 32, is already going to immediately make a challenge for second, as that's not going to work, as Dawson gets a better run off the backstretch, and Nargan's going to, I think, have to try again. They're going to come around turn number 3. Nargan's going to try again to the inside, couldn't get a run there, and now he's going to try again, but this time he gets a really good run in turn 4, and he's now going to exit turn 4, and down the front stretch he goes to car number 32, as Chadler Blake is right now trying everything he can. He's right now actually leading it. It actually has one of the strongest cars. As a matter of fact, Chadler Blake's only, out of this entire season, in spite of how big the point slip has got him, Chadler Blake's only led the most laps of a race only once this season, and that came at Chicagoland, where he won the race. Shane Nargan, car number 32, is already charging in there. Nargan, on the other occasion, has done it quite a few times this season. However, most of them have ended in bad luck. As Nargan in the 32, he's now going to try to go to the inside. Tries to peek a nose under the 15. As now looks like Chadler Blake in 15. Nargan's going to try again, but Blake gets a better run off the corner. As now the 15 and Chadler Blake is now just going to pull away a little bit from the 32 of Shane Nargan. As looks like Casey Littinger and Shane Clark III have also jumped into the battle. Jason Duke and Jan Honori will also do likewise. The 32 of Nargan gets a really good run going in turn 1 and 2. However, he can't really get the door open on that 15. As Chadler Blake, he gives him the inside a little bit, but Nargan can't really get the run off of that corner. Casey Littinger in the 5. Does Casey Littinger go for second, or will he follow Nargan to the race lead? As Littinger go for second. There's Jason Duke. He's already going to go for, I think this is for fourth, and now Clark's going to try to battle it out side by side. Nargan's going to go, and he's going to go high. Chadler Blake, is Chadler Blake pitting from the lead with about 17 to go? So Chadler Blake, the strongest car of the event, is pitting with 17 laps to go. However, luckily at the same time he was pitting, there was a caution, and there you see Shane Nargan let him back to the caution. Jamie Scott A gets into Tony WYDER. The 35-9 spins around, and then they get Walter Green in the 39 in the process. Walter Youth in car number 8 gets hit as well. Kyle Langston in the 05 is also collected as well. As the 35 continue on, there you see what happened to Walter Youth in car number 8. He tries to come down. He gets hit by the 35 of Tony WYDER. The 8 spins around, and he doesn't get hit by anybody else. The 8, 35, and 39 will all believe go out. The 15 of Chadler Blake would restart 26th. So tough break for Chadler Blake. He actually had the strongest car, and he would have to make a serious rally in order for him to at least get the win. Shane Nargan, car number 32, led on the restart with Casey Littinger, car number 5 in second. Shane Clark III in the 98 is in third, as Jason Duke, car number 66, is in the 4th spot. As now looks like it appears that the 15 of Littinger is, the 5 of Littinger is going to try to go for the lead. Littinger's going to go to the bottom. Clark is, I believe, but he only did that to defend from Clark, and now Clark's going to go for second, so I think that block may have backfired, as now The 98 of Shane Clark third. He's going to go for second here. Jason Duke, car number 66, running in third. As Jaden Norrie is also going to be stuck on the high line. Shane Howard in the 03 is going to go by. And as a result, Shane Nargan is liking all that. He's pulling away. There you see the 98 of Clark. He's already somewhat defended second spot. Jason Duke's going to hang on to third. Casey Linger is in fourth. So we're going to have a very good battle down to the wire. Here's the 66 of, looks like Littinger got it pushed down to the line by the 01 of Jaden Norrie. As now the 5 of Littinger will fall back to fifth spot, and now he's going to be challenged for fifth as they almost there. And we got one car sideways. That's the 46 of Moko Mansell. As Jason Duke is trying to get under the 98 of Shane Clark III, as the 66 of Duke will actually try to go to the inside. The 98 is already just pushed there, so as the 66 of Duke goes to the bottom of the racetrack, the 01 of Illinois is also going to try to go for third under the 98, as Casey Hunter is going to follow for its fourth spot. As meanwhile, this would be later in the race. Narco would actually somewhat have a more consistent car. He actually pulled away from everybody. However, Jason Duke in the 66 ran him down, and as a result, Jason Duke in car number 66 will go for the race lead. As Jay Norrie in car number 01 is in second, Casey Littinger in the 5 is running third. Duke in the 66 is going to go for the lead. In the number 66 eBay Ford Fusion for Fusion Racing, Duke has not won in about 3 years, as he is going to try to go to the bottom of the racetrack. Casey Littinger is now going to try for second. Duke's already gotten away for the lead, as the 66, as the 5 of Casey Littinger is right now in the third spot. As Nargan was able to hang on for that second spot. And Nargan in the 32, he's going to try to give Silver Green Racing the first ever win here in Indianapolis. And despite how historical this program is, they have never won here. As despite they've had some success with the Indy 500, they've won it a couple of times, but they've never won here in a stock car. Shane Nargan, the car number 32, is going to give him the bottom. And car number 32 of Shane Nargan is going to go to the inside, as he's going to try to get as much fun as he can off of turn number 3. He's down the south. The 32 appears to have the edge going into turn 4. And car number 32 of Shane Nargan is going to go for the race, is to the race lead. Casey Littinger, car number 5, now appears to go for second, and it appears that Littinger does get the second spot. And now the battle for third will be between Duke and Antonore, coming with about 3 laps to go, as the 5 of Casey Littinger is now trying to get there. I believe this is actually, yes, this is 3 to go. The 5 of Casey Littinger has now passed both of them, as now Jason Duke in the 66 is appearing to fall back a little bit, as the 5 of Littinger is actually trying to run down that 32 car, as he may have a little help from Antonore. The 5 has some time to work with, but I believe if the 5 keeps wasting his time, then the 32 of Nargan will practically just win this race anyway, as the 5 of Littinger is trying everything he can. However, the gap is only stabilized, as Jason Duke in the 66 has also fallen back, as we'll be heading here with 2 laps to go. Car number 32 of Shane Nargan, he is right now trying to give Silver Green Racing their first ever win here in Indianapolis in a stock car. Casey Littinger, if he wins here, he will be the first ever driver to win here in a stock car and in an open wheel car. However, Shane Nargan overran turn 2 a little bit, as Littinger is just not gaining any ground whatsoever. I believe he's just, in fact, losing ground on this lap. So, in essence, the 5 of Littinger will probably need some help in order for him to win, as Nargan is still trying to pull away. However, the good news is that Littinger is pulling away from Jay Illinois and Jason Duke, which those two will most likely battle it out for third. And heading out of turn 4, they will be coming to the white flag this time by Littinger. It appears that he is somewhat closing now, as they are going to cross the line for the white flag this time by Shane Nargan in car number 32, Silver Green Racing. As I mentioned, has never won here. Casey Littinger in car number 5, they have won here several times in the Indy 500, never won here in a stock car. Nargan is going to get out of turn 2. Turn 2, so far, so good for car number 32. It appears that the gap is closed, but right now it's not enough for Littinger to at least make a serious charge at him. Now coming into turn number 3, the gap's still there. The 32 of Nargan, he's got turn 3, now down the north chute. Littinger is apparently coming. The 32, he's got one more corner. And out of the last corner, car number 32, Shane Nargan. It appears that Littinger has a run, but it won't be enough. Shane Nargan will give Silver Green Racing their first win here at the Brickyard. So after the misfortunes by Chadler Blake in the later stage of the race, Shane Nargan takes the victory here at Indianapolis. Nargan gives Silver Green Racing their first ever win here in Indianapolis, and Nargan joins Jay Ananori, Shane Harden, and Chadler Blake as the only two-time winners this season. And he has an odd trait with Jay Ananori, as his first win came on a track shorter than a mile, and the second win came on a track longer than 2 miles, as Nargan's won on a half mile at Casey and then won at here in Indianapolis, which is a 2.5 mile track, while Jay Ananori won at Dover, which is a mile, and then won at 2.25 mile New York Auto Ring. Casey Littinger in car number 5 almost made history. However, he will settle in for second. He had a good run off that corner on the last corner, but couldn't really do anything. Jay Ananori in car number 01 gets third in the number 01 for Ease Racing. Jason Duke in car 66 gets fourth. He faded late in the race and actually had one of the strong cars, however, faded in the middle of the race and almost came back and won it, however, didn't really get the chance to prove what he could do as his car faded late. Jake Carroll in car number 76 finishes in 5th. That brings Fusion Racing, their 2 cars get in the top 5. Cody WYKE in car number 22 finishes 6th. CJ Gordon, car number 47, in car number 48 gets 7th place for DM Racing. Shane Howard in car number 03 gets 8th in the Coors Light number 03. Shane Coulter third in the 98 actually had a decent car, however faded later in the race and couldn't really recover but finishes 9th. And Justin Clinkston, car number 24, rounds out the top 10. And now let's take a look at your point standings. Chadler Blake in car number 15, despite finishing 15th, that's the bad news. He didn't win the race and get a huge points lead. The good news is he extended his points lead to 18 over Todd Pieper, who struggled after his incident midway through the race. Cody WYKE, car number 22, he gains a couple of spots. He actually jumps to 3rd because of his top 10 finish at Indianapolis. Shane Nargan with his win also goes up. He is 46 points behind. Cody WYKE is 30 behind. Nargan gains 1 spot while Cody WYKE didn't gain anything. Keith Hales in car number 27 is in 5th, 64 points back, and 18 back of Shane Nargan. Casey Lester, after 2 miserable weekends, falls to 6th in points. He fell 2 spots this week. Jason Duke in car number 66, he climbs 4 spots to the 7th spot. And rounding out the top 8 is Damon Scott in car number 18. That makes Silver Green Racing have 4 cars within the top 8. And now let's take a look at 9 through 15. Brandon Green in car number 30, 91 points behind, as he has the tiebreaker. Actually, they do get the tiebreakers correct, as Brandon Green is ahead of Shane Clark III via tiebreaker by top 5. Brandon Green has 4, while Shane Clark III has just 2. Shane Clark III, as I mentioned, was tied with Green. He is 10th. Logan Chin is 1 point behind that, as he is 92 points back and 1 point behind. Scott Johnson, car number 58, actually had a decent couple of weeks, but he struggled here today, even though he had one of the strongest cars here. Jay Ananori in car number 01 is 95 points back. Scott Johnson is 94 points back. Justin Clinkston is 100 points back. He is 14th. And then rounding out the top 15 is Shane Harden, car number 59. And just a little reference note, any cars below 30th in points, which is Evan Brooks, they are all officially eliminated because you had to have at least 180 points in order to have a shot at winning the title. The only driver that I believe was eliminated by that was Chris Bell, who is 188 points back. So next week's race will be at Mosport